In development since 2007, The Last Guardian has seen its fair share of development troubles similar to Square Enix's Final Fantasy XV. The game was supposed to release back in 2011 on the PlayStation 3, however, technical issues pushed Fumito Ueda's latest to the PlayStation 4. For a game that's been in development hell for so long and has so much hype building up for it, it was a given that The Last Guardian would eventually falter and fail, but that's far from the case. The Last Guardian is in a way a truly special game, a kind of experience which will most likely never be replicated in the future, and we say that in more ways than one. It felt to me that neither Sony nor Gen Design, the development team behind the title, are likely to take such a massive risk in the future and develop a game along a similar route to Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. We hope we've been proven wrong, but The Last Guardian feels like the end of an era, and we're relieved to say that down the line this game will be seen from a high pedestal, much like how Ico and Shadow of the Colossus are looked upon now. Without delving too much into the narrative, the game is about a grown-up man telling his story in the form of a flashback when he was a young boy. Under mysterious circumstances, the boy is kidnapped, and when he regains consciousness, he finds himself in front of Trico, a giant half-bird, half-mammal creature thing. This is where the game takes the first few steps towards building the bond between the player and the creature. Unfortunately, this is also where we found the narrative to be a bit lacking. The bond is formed too quickly for our liking. Feed the creature, take out a few spears from its body, and we're good to go, buddy. I was expecting a rather emotional moment where something will happen between the boy and the creature, resulting into an unbreakable bond between the two. Fortunately, the game manages to present several emotional moments along with support-based game structure that help to solidify the bond between the two. After playing through the first few hours, you really start feeling attached to the creature. There are moments where we would wander off ahead of Trico, but after reaching a certain point, we look back with concern whether the big boy made its way. If Gen Design wanted the players to feel and think about Trico, then they've truly exceeded in achieving the same. Coming off as a spiritual sequel to Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, the gameplay in The Last Guardian feels largely the same. You'll be solving mind-twisting puzzles, run away from armored soldiers, and do a lot of platforming here and there to make across a particular level. But things have become a lot more different and intriguing when you put Trico in the mix. There are certain levels where you would need to take help from Trico to make your way across, so a ton of gameplay, as expected, is centered on the creature. The level design is superb, something which is expected given that this is coming from the team who developed Ico, but there is this vertical scale that some of the areas bring with it, which can be both daunting and spectacular at times, not unlike navigating some of the larger colossi in Shadow of the Colossus. As mentioned before, Trico is at the heart of the Last Guardian experience. Players will need to take care of it by feeding it or petting it when it's feeling uneasy. Trico has a mind of its own, which means it won't always do what the player wants him to do. It won't always eat the food you provide, or it will wander off in a different area. Due to this, the game may be slow-paced at times, but for us, it wasn't really a concern. Trico is a massive creature, so obviously it will take its own good time to jump off one cliff to another, or come down from a higher level to a lower, as and when it wishes. It really is a moment of awe seeing Trico take a jump from one platform to another. Unfortunately, the awful camera can be a complete game breaker at times, and this is especially the case when Trico and the boy are both in a small enclosed area. The game can become downright unplayable at times, and although we can understand the reasons behind this annoyance, it's something that can deteriorate the meaning behind the experience. The Last Guardian also has its own share of incredible set pieces and enemy encounters that set it apart from its spiritual predecessors, and although it's no Uncharted, they were intense enough to make my heartbeat go faster. Music is a big part of the experience, and the score choice really makes The Last Guardian a treat to play. The sudden change in music during an enemy encounter or Trico taking a big leap, moments such as these feel a lot better with the awesome music score in the background. On the graphics front, The Last Guardian suffers due to the transition it made from the PS3 to the PS4. This clearly seems like a game that was designed for the PlayStation 3 in mind, as it suffers from low-resolution textures and pop-in. We played the game on the PS4 Pro, and generally speaking the performance was alright, but we came across one moment where the game slowed down to a noticeable crawl. But not all is a disappointment, as the animation along with the physics engine is a sight to behold. Physics have been revamped, which means objects and water effects react more realistically to in-game actions. Trico's visual fidelity is absolutely superb. It perhaps represents the next big leap in animation technology in video games. Be it the subtle movements, taking a leap, or facial gestures, whoever designed Trico absolutely nailed it. In the end, The Last Guardian is worth the wait. It follows the tried and tested formula of its predecessors and takes it a step ahead with Trico. Team Ico is no more, and Gen Design and Sony may never work on a spiritual successor together. But one thing is for sure, The Last Guardian is the kind of game you won't forget for a long time.
And that wraps it up. What are your thoughts about this? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and share it on Twitter and Facebook. And why not consider subscribing? We upload some really cool videos almost every day. Thank you for watching this video, and happy gaming!